The next morning, Emma wanted to discuss something with Papa. She went down to his lab and work area located in the basement of the boarding house. "Papa," Emma called, watching him sitting at his work table. He had several types of concrete in front of him that he was analyzing for defects. When Papa was working on a project, he did not hear anything around him. Emma walked over to him and tried again, this time tapping his arm. "What?" Papa said in a startled voice. He almost fell off his chair, trying to see who was behind him. "Nothing, Papa," Emma said with a grin and brushed his hair off his forehead. "You got tied up in your work again." He grabbed her in a bear hug. "Don't do that again," he said with a chuckle. "What is it I can do for you? Is it time for lessons already?" he asked as he continued to look absently down at the concrete and other papers on his workbench. "Well," Emma said, "I have a favor to ask." "A favor, you say?" asked Papa, and looked at her thoughtfully. Though she was a gifted student, who could look at a building and calculate the angles without the aid of an instrument to measure, Papa knew she preferred to be outside, where things were happening. He had an idea of where this conversation was going. When Tim had dropped Emma off yesterday, he had stopped by and brought up the idea of Emma going on deliveries with him. Papa and Tim had worked out a plan that would allow Emma to go on when she felt she was ready. Papa had not expected the request to be so sudden. He took a deep breath as she began. "Papa," Emma started rubbing her hands together nervously, "I would like to work with the delivery boys when I'm not at the bakery or helping out around here." He took a moment to really explain what this might mean. "Sister, after the incident..." His eyes welled up with tears. "I know, Papa, but you also know that I have worked with the specialist you brought in, and I know how to protect myself," she said as she looked him steadily in the eyes. She did not show any emotion and refused to let the past event affect her future plans. The event Papa was referencing was when Emma was about 10 years old. She had started working the morning shift at the bakery and usually walked home alone prior to having lunch at the boarding house. The walk was normally uneventful, but that day she had taken a slightly different path to see some different neighborhoods. When she tried to remember details from that day, it only came in flashes. She remembered her notebook, something hard hitting her head, and a man who was on the smallish side, but very strong. She had not known how to defend herself and was almost beaten to death that morning. She was saved by someone that had interrupted the beating, forcing the attacker to run off. He got her back to the boarding house, left her on the doorstep, and knocked on the door prior to leaving. Tony and Tim were there for lessons with Papa and had answered the door to discover Emma laying on the stoop. As they moved her into the house, they heard her continually asking for her notebook. She was nearly unconscious, but she still wanted that book. They never found out who had saved her that day, and the notebook was never found. Papa had looked and put out feelers, but was unable to find who had beaten her up, or the person who had rescued her. Emma woke asking for her notebook, but she didn't know why she felt such urgency about it. Her memory continued to be a concern. The doctor indicated this was normal, and she may never recover her memory of that day. Papa let Emma take time to recover. Dora, Tony, and Papa kept her company, reading to her and making her laugh again. They knew when they found her attempting to walk around her bed by herself that there would be no holding her back. Papa set plans into motion to start protecting Emma as soon as possible. He wanted to protect her, but he didn't want her to lose her sense of adventure that was so much part of who she was. Papa's plan involved building a group of specialists that would teach Emma and Dora how to protect themselves. The first of these specialists to move in soon after the event had occurred was Papa's friend, Danny Maiden. Danny's particular specialty was self-defense methods. He believed in the importance of physical fitness and self-defense. They worked on kickboxing, parasol defense, shin kicking, and jump kicking.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.